Hi, welcome back to Air Engine Research. Before I get started today, I want to ask any of you that are viewing for the first time, if you're interested in what we're doing, please subscribe and be sure to push the little bell next to your subscribe button so that you'll be notified when any new videos are put out. It's too cold to be working outside today, so I'm going to talk about some of the questions that I've gotten from different subscribers. The first thing is they talk about or ask about is storage tanks, and a lot of people suggest that I use a scuba tank because it has 100 or 80 cubic feet of compressed air at 2,000 psi. So if I use the 2,000, we'll be able to calculate any size tank just by using the same formulas and whatever. The scuba tanks are mainly listed at 80 or 100 cubic feet at, say, 2,000 psi or, say, 2,500 psi. Now, each of them does have compressed air at 2,000 or 2,500 psi, but that's not 80 cubic feet of compressed air at 2,000 or 2,500. If you go through the calculations to figure out actually what's in there, you have to base it on how many cubic inches is in 1 cubic foot, and standard air pressure is 14.7 psi or pounds per square inch. Now, if you use the formula that 1 cubic foot has 1,728 cubic inches in it, and if we have 80 cubic feet, that would be, say, 1,728 times 80. Do that first times 14.7. That gives you 2 million rather. 2,032,128. So, and then you divide this by 2,000 psi. That will just give you 1.7 cubic foot at 2,000. 1.7, not 80. That's a big difference. Like I say, at first I thought that was the case too, but it's not. So 1.7 cubic feet is going to go pretty quick when you only have 1,016 cubic inches. Now, once you've figured out how many cubic feet you have, then you got 1,728 cubic inches at 2,000 psi to play with. Now, I'm looking at using a storage tank that's 35 gallons, which is, it has 231 cubic inches per gallon. So, and the tank that would be that large, it's going to have to be a carbon fiber reinforced tank. They're pretty expensive. They run around $4,000 to $6,000 for one tank. So I'm going to be figuring my running pressure at 250 to 300 psi on a 5,000 psi basic pressure. So if I have 1 gallon, it's 231 inches times 35. That's going to give you 8,085. That's at 5,000. And I want to be running 300 psi in my engine. So then you take the 5,000 times 8,085, and you would divide that number by 300. So this number here, though, is going to be very large. It comes out to be 40,425,000. And you divide that number by 300. That gives you then, over here, I'll use this one, 134, 750, 085. Now this is how many cubic inches at that pressure, 300. But once you get down to 300 psi in your storage tank, then you're not able to go any further at 300 psi on running your engine. Because as soon as you get to 300, it starts going less than 300 as it's coming out. So you actually only have 126,665 cubic inch engines to run your engine with until you get to the 300 psi. Now, Briggs and Stratton is what a lot of people, or let's say a gasoline motor, a lot of people try to convert those. And a Briggs and Stratton is probably about the basic that they would be using. And it has a 3-inch bore roughly, and it's about a 6-inch stroke. So if you know that, then you can calculate, how far you can go. If you take the area of a 3-inch cylinder and multiply that by the 6-inch stroke, it would be using so your 3-inch formula is pi r squared times the stroke, which would be 6 inches. And if you were to have 4 of those, each stroke equals 42.39 cubic inches. If you go 4 times that, that's 169.56 cubic inches for one time around. 1 R revolution. So dividing this number into, what was it, 200 and this number right here, divide this into that, you get 747 revolutions. Now, that's not very much, and it takes, based on a 2-foot tire, I've calculated that it takes 841 revolutions to go a mile. So this, go into that, it's not even a mile. So you can see now why I'm always concerned about efficiency and how big the cylinders are and how many there are and how far you can go on that. Well, the shortest possible stroke and the smallest piston size to get the power that you need to run the vehicle. Now I think it should be at least 3 cylinders for the purpose of balance, for one thing. A 2-cylinder, you've got that jerking back and forth. The 3-cylinder, it's a continuous rotation because you've always got 1 and maybe a third part of the time pushing. So you've got a constant push, which makes the engine run smoother, and you also get a little bit more torque out of it because you have 2 pistons pushing at the same time some part of the time. Now, I'm still trying to find the best combination of the ideas that I've had over the years. I'm getting closer, but I still don't have the perfect combination. I keep trying different things, and I want something that is easy to work on, has as minimal number of moving parts, and gives you maximum torque, which is needed to make the vehicle move. And also, if you ever want to like figure horsepower, you need to have the torque to put that into the formula for calculating horsepower. Well, that's going to be it for my discussion today on storage tanks. They do have either aluminum or steel storage tanks, so I would suggest definitely getting an aluminum for making it lighter. In my next video, which I'll try to do in the next couple weeks, will be how much power you get out of a compressed air engine, and that is torque. And then one of the subscribers asked me, well, how many horsepower does your engine have? Well, I'll be able to calculate that for you also at the same time. But for today, I hope I didn't mess up too many people's minds by trying to show you on the board. So until next time, thank you for checking in, and be sure to subscribe and be extra sure to push the little bell on the side to get notified on the coming videos. So for today, so long.